This happened a little bit later than I was hoping, maybe. Give the announcement a second to roll out. Stream VOD. Yeah. This is insane. Luke is so accessible. Got your Gar? Gar might actually cost more to gear than Luke almost. I could literally just do Pyatt right now. I have 500 Carbonis saved up that I don't need anymore. I have 200 Cairo saved up that I don't need anymore. Like, so I hoarded gear to try to get it at least. I expected it to be kind of on par with Rey and Kylo, right? I think that's a fair assumption. And, it was 400 for Rey and Kylo. I was like 300-ish and feeling like, oh, okay, we're kind of within reach. I can put some crystals into it. But, okay, I gotta check Palpatine. I have so many questions right now. Palpatine's almost easier. You're plus 50. Wait. Palpatine is minus 200 Cairo and plus 50 guns. You're also plus 50 droid collars, but like... Wait, why is Palpatine so easy to gear? Caddy Mundi has a harder gear list than this, I'm pretty sure. Where's Mr. Mundi himself? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm super overjoyed over this. I'm feeling like some reverse weird sticker shock right now. Huh. Okay. Well, the gear part's easy. That's not really what we're here for. So the reason why I think this part is so important for adding context is back when Rey and Kylo came out, I was in here, I wasn't in video form, I was on my Discord trying to get people, like, trying to bang the drum about these stats and say, like, hey, Kylo's kit is really sick. There's some math behind her you all really need to see yet. Hey, what's up, Sim? Not yet on STWGH fence. I would almost not be surprised to find out that this is, like, bugged or something. This just... Man. Alright. So, we have question all over the place. We have damage being dealt all over the place. We don't really need to check this ability. There's nothing to really clarify here. Alright, for Luke's basic. 200% is definitely on the lower end. We need to look at his base stats, actually, before we do anything. Make sure to always turn it to relic level 7. That's a mistake I see a lot of people make. 9,000 sounds low for special damage dealers, right? Not that he's a damage dealing class, but like, let's pull out some comparisons. But on par with Talzin, I think Palpatine is the technical like special damage king, but I like to shotgun this just to try to. It's plenty above Yoda. Palpatine, I believe. Of course, this isn't the full picture. Okay, he's like on par. So he's slightly below Palpatine. Still a good ballpark to be in. Plus, Palpatine doesn't really have the best ratios, which is why it's like part of the picture. So, very high special damage. You're not really gonna be building around this for the most part. But you know, you've got a offense primary square. Maybe you can sneak in some percent offense. 200% on the basic isn't incredible. Like, for comparison, Kylo's triple hit, Supreme Leader Kylo's triple hit was 480% as a physical damage dealer. Sith Trooper, another recent release, has a 300%. That helps give some context. They're not really blowing me away here. As a button, this doesn't really stick out much at all, aside from just having a buff immunity utility to it, which is kind of rare for basics, whatever that's worth. And like 20% max health stack is like, it's fine, but compared to Luke. I guess for whatever it's worth too, it's a 200% ratio with a guaranteed crit. We can see here especially that his special crit chance at Relic 7 god awful. So basically they almost just want this to be like the crit damaging ability. They want this to be pretty much pure utility. We'll see what the offense ratio is here, but 20% special critical chance. Yeah. You stick a Relic 7 character who has crit avoid mastery, you're down to like less than 10%. You're looking at like 6.5. So yeah, good luck with that. And for comparison, again, I'll point out it's fairly massive. So we're about like 2,000 less base physical damage here. Of course, higher crit chance, but crit chance again doesn't matter because that will almost always crit. Okay. Luke is sitting at about 200% as well here. I wonder if we're going to see a lot of parallel. But also worth noting, the big thing for Luke that tends to make his basic so ridiculous is Jedi with all attacks ignore defense. So whatever that's worth. Stalwart advance probably doesn't even have that good of a ratio as either. I would guess like maybe 3% max. Right on the dot, 100%. So comparable, has guaranteed crit. Doesn't have access himself to ignoring armor though, but I mean, so kind of interesting. You could point out his mastery has protection on it, right? I think we got confirmation on that earlier today. I don't think scogh.gg shows this. I believe he gets protection, crit avoidance, and do we know they confirm this on this page? Alright, I'll just go over here. Yeah, we can confirm here. So what this will mean, actually, is we will get some amount of thing. Where is he? We're going to get some ramping tankiness on him, which is kind of nice, right? A tank that gets tankier over time. Plus, you know, some max health stacking value here. It's not bad. Let's check out Deathly. I'm not expecting this to really knock me 100%. 100%, but you're not going to crit, so take that for what it's worth. Yeah, I mean, damage isn't really his role, right? It is kind of funny to me that when you ult, he pulls out his lightsaber, and unless he happens to use different animations, I'm pretty sure he's never going to use that lightsaber, right? Every single one of these animations is just like a hand wave. So, yeah, I was kind of hoping for an effect along the lines of doing more damage or something. When you pull out his ultimate, he gains 35% offense, I guess. I'm not saying the resistance is garbage. I actually love resistance. It's just, my point was that it depends on the team being used against you, right? It's potentially a dead stat if a team coming after you, and just, you know, Luke or Grievous or whatever, for example. I'm not saying that those are going to be the counters. Luke, almost certainly. But yeah, just giving you the idea of, like, you know, resistance is conditional. Crit avoidance is not. Protection is not. You will always be using those stats. Resistance could be sick, could make it harder for like Darth Revan, or if could just be completely irrelevant. Okay. We don't really need to be in. Let's see. 100% not bad. Not bad. Won't be critting pretty much ever. Even if you try to do like a dedicated crit chance build, you're only gonna get to like with thick, like triple, like what? Triple set plus primary gets you 44, I think. It's 44 or 38. I forget. No, it's 44. So like you would need 16% extra from secondaries just to get you to like 60%. And 60% is like the general threshold I used to see all the time of people saying like you must be this tall to even start thinking about using crit damage triangles. So not really how you were expecting to build him anyway, of course, but worth keeping in mind. Let's go back to his stats. The DK protection is actually really low. This was kind of one of the things I mentioned. I was kind of concerned about if they were going to undercut his base protection value because of how much extra he would be getting. Let's pull this up as a comparison. General Skywalker, we can already see rocking a healthy 14,000 more. You're gonna be getting more free protection, so they actually might balance out to be very similar. But a little bit disappointed on that. You know, if protection tank is gonna be his core niche, this is something that CG tends to do a lot when they give a character a defined aspect of their kit that they're really hitting on, is they'll chunk them down into base stats to compensate. So again, we are going to have some amount of extra stacking protection. It's going to be flat protection though, instead of scaling. So even if, like, it would be better to have a higher base value here that we could mod around instead of, you know, via gameplay, right? I guess you could say, like, if Luke is going to be starting off with Jedi Legacy, then, I mean, what, right? Who's a tactics tank, actually? I think it's you. Maybe, I don't know, different classes have different... Pretty sure he's a strength tank. You? My mom? She's close enough. Okay, we can go from there. So we go 5k, jump 23, so final number would be 1050, I think at relic level 7. So we'll get essentially 10k bonus, but that's 10k bonus that can't interact with. He basically is just gas in terms of total protection here. Right. Which, by the way, as well, another reason why this is disappointing is because the lead ability is essentially going to be extremely capped here, right? Because it's working with the base, that just means what the kit has combined with like his base stats and then like toss the mods in, and then you're going into battle, and that's what you're taking 60% of. So this is a character that'll have probably about 200,000, probably about 210,000 protection to start the battle, but you're not taking 60% of that, taking 60% of 100,000, or yeah, about 100,000, because we shouldn't get the mastery increase either. So inherited teachings with the good Jedi damage dealer, you're going to be doing less damage, which it is true damage, whatever that can be worth. Armor penetration is a stat that has been showing up a lot of places in the game these days. General Skywalker has a pretty great armor pen value. And then on top of that, as we mentioned, Luke has complete armor ignore in his kit. So kind of disappointed to see this capped as low as it is. It does still give some nice value to try to hunt for the best percent protection secondaries we can get. So, you know, fair enough on that. Luke speed, I don't remember if I called it out, but it's about the same. It's like 23. I think it's actually just straight up 20 less than Rey and Kylo. So still very competitive. You can still absolutely chuck Jedi Master Luke Skywalker into your Jedi Knight Luke team in LSTB. It's going to be an auto. Unless they just have some crazy preload in like P4 mid. I'm not right, but at least like I think P3 mid is the battle I did him last time, and you chuck him in there, you're gonna get the 5-man done. You're safe. Perfect, right. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a whole lot of other stats in his kit here, really. Yeah, we can check just to make sure, but I don't think there's really that much to see here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a bummer. 60k machine gun. Like, that's a lot of 60ks that you can belt out at a time, potentially, but 60k is a damage number that used to mean something, but just as relics came out, as mods have gotten better, it just doesn't mean as much over time, right? 60k is like a Grandmaster Yoda basic with okay damage. So, the 10 lock their ults. You could also say, maybe. I guess I cannot see it. I would assume it's still 10, right? We're still sticking by the same rule. Alright, let's check out Palpatine. Palpatine is more of the damage-oriented character. Oh, actually, let's check out Luke's base armor. That's actually very, very important. Ooh, this is not a lot. We're on Relic Tier 7 as well. Common person I'd like to pull up. I mean, if we just want to pull out like the common all-stars for this stat line, it'd be K and 5s. 55% starting on 5s. That's gear 13. We're not even 7 yet. 64% starting on 5s. 58% on GK. Luke is missing a lot of bulk stats. And even we can compare resistance. Luke is working with a lot more, whatever that's worth. Much more durable than 5s is. Like, yeah, we take it like a really significant undercut on armor. Oh, I think, yeah. SWH.GG is bugged. If you pull this page back up, it'll actually give you the gear 13. But the slide down will still say Relic 7. Sneaky, sneaky. Right, so like we're taking a fairly significant undercut on armor here, but we're still almost double in this slot. Which I guess is fair. Yeah, see, exact same thing here. Gear 13 stats. Let's just GK more competent. Not a huge fan of this 50% armor. It actually has me a little bit concerned. I would say that we're going to be about 27% base crit avoid, which, assuming Relic 7, which isn't bad because he's forced into modding for protection most likely. I don't know that we can really make use of that with another CA arrow, unless you had like a really sick protection secondary to go with it. Right, because any primary we take off protection here is gonna hurt a lot. Stats rep, yep, it's on SUH. That's a shame. I'm kind of bummed to see his stats this low. Like, this health especially is like pretty ridiculous. Isn't? Or I say anything? I'm just checking. He's like working with almost Ray tier health. It's Kylo. A little bit higher than Kylo. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I guess with the stacking health, he would actually have just about Ray tier, right? Because he'll get 20% more. Not really what the man wants. Like, honestly, flip this, and I would actually be pretty stoked. Obviously, that would be kind of ridiculous. Like, that you'd be looking at like 400k protection total. For a protection tag is health is pretty high? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Palpatine. Supreme Sith Eternal Emperor, whatever you want to call him. I'm pretty sure this is probably highest special offense game. Special crit chance is extremely good. That is fantastic. That is 52% higher than Luke. Again, not really Luke's role, but you're hitting 100% crits pretty reliably. You're still going to need a little bit of extra help. Actually, what's his... He's an int attacker. I don't think we're going to get any crit chance in the... Yoda's not an attacker. Who would be... Are you? Attack is in, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, he actually is going to get extra crit chance from his mastery, so even better for him. Much, much better. Not going to get critical damage like agility attackers, of course, but plenty solid. Let's see. 365 speed. Are they actually the same? Okay, so he's the slowest GL, actually. That does give Luke a natural speed advantage. Fair enough. Honestly, like, Palpatine is a special damage dealer. We just need to see what he's working with. 150%, that's actually quite low. Oh, by the way, this is going to be the big test for me. They don't even have his ultimate up yet. The biggest concern that I have, so for example, if we go to like Rey, right? Go to Rey's page. We still can't actually read the mechanics on Rey's. So we might not actually ever know exactly like what the ratio for Palpatine's ultimate ability is going to be. Which, again, it kind of sucks that it's a black box. I prefer if they would have this more available in game, but I mean, obviously this is quite low. I don't know if they really want pre-flip Palpatine to be doing that much damage though. And the Mass Assist 200%. That's about Luke basic. He has some better base values. Actually, does this move? You linked. Bonus turn. Yeah, I don't think this actually has any damage executed. Huh. Actually, really, really low damage values to start off with. I mean, of course, like, I assume. I mean, the game never shows this thing in game, so. Yeah. I mean, you see a value like deal 150% more damage. You really want to know what you're working with baseline. Again, the question being, did CG keep it low without the bonus value, or is it just going to absolutely dump truck somebody when the ultimate is on? And then, also curious, this is an AoE damage dealing ability as well. If the idea is for him to become an absolute monster when he's flipped, these are probably the offense values that would matter more. And unfortunately, we just never know. Unfortunate. Kind of just have to work with what we've got, though. I guess the biggest question for Palpatine is how killable is he? 45k protection, pretty low compared to like compared to Kylo. Wait. They have like the exact same health and protection. Huh. That's curious. The exact same protection and health is like 200 off. Okay. So just about as killable. And like he's gonna be forced into health modding for if he wants survivability. Just kind of awkward considering that he's got the protection refill. I don't know, maybe the assumption is that you would just try to bulk up his protection as being more. Ooh. This is actually a very spicy stat that it gave him here. Once he flips, assuming his damage values or offense ratios are quite good there, 65% base health steal. Pretty ridiculous. Actually, more than Supreme Leader Kylo has, actually. If you can believe that. Like, Kylo was already pretty much a lifesteal tank when he wanted to be. And the Eternal Emperor has about 60% more. That's spicy. Base tenacity is actually quite respectable too. This is a trend we've been seeing a lot lately, but whatever, an 8% tenacity might actually be, I think it's higher than like Hux. I think Hux is rocking like a flat 100. Obviously he doesn't get it from any extra sources like a Finn does, but and just to make sure. Okay, armor resistance are expectedly pretty low. They do want it to be kind of vulnerable. Okay, so he's going to be slower out of the gate than Luke. There's still the issue, I think, that I mentioned in the first video of, you know, I have some questions about, you know, what happens to Chuck and Traya. Your best case scenario, you get some good TM. That'll help a little bit. It'll get you some space. You're not going to stop him from doing all the garbage he's going to do. But, at least from seeing all of this, he's not really going to be pushing a whole lot of early threat, which kind of changes the texture of the team a little bit, kind of changes the flavor. Yeah, 65% health steal is crazy. It's very, very crazy. Definitely put a lot of respect on that. Yeah, I mean, of course, his base bulk he'll be getting around 200,000 health total, percent health resistance. We'll get some extra nice solid protection here, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised at how low. Like, if you just look at pure damage numbers alone, Luke is almost technically a better damage dealer, ignoring the base crit chance. But that's a meaningless statement because we know that it's all about the period. It's all about the flip. Right. And like, I feel like both of these Galactic Legends are actually going to have a little bit of a hard time meaning a whole lot without their ultimates. Right? Like, Rey could at least still whirlwind you in the face. Kylo still has some ramping siphon damage. But like, Palpatine without ultimate doesn't seem like a whole lot right now. Hey, mass assist, recover 50% protection. That would be excellent for GAC banners, of course. Like, this goes without saying. Link is kind of cute, I guess. But like, everything wasn't everything until you put into the mix. So, you could actually very, very much say the same for Luke at least, right? But at least his buttons, for the most part, were always going to be what they are. By the way, I do want to call out, shout myself down a little bit. I did misread this this line right here. I did sort of misinterpret it when doing the kit reading yesterday. I read it as the cooldown is reduced by 2. This actually is the max cooldown. So it does change the flavor of his transform. I still don't think it really works as a transform. I don't think it delivers that power fantasy. His animation pulls out a lightsaber, and unless they made completely separate animations for them, just the same abilities. The lightsaber is just cosmetic. But it does at least mean once Luke gets the flip, you're bouncing in between these moves every single turn. Kind of like a weird General Skywalker, but not chained back to back. But it actually does kind of up the pressure of this team a little bit. You know, getting hit by 2-turn ability block and breach every 2 turns is a lot of pressure to be under. It's not quite a game winner, but that's a type of interaction that a lot of teams would have trouble dealing with. So I do like that a lot better. That's some better flavor. Definitely a better change than just getting -2 cooldowns like I think Grief Karga did. Like, honestly, I actually kind of wish that they gave Grief Karga this type of love in his kit for his contract. Right, because Grief has like 5-turn cooldowns even. And you get the payoff once, you get the reduction once, but I think a max cooldown reduction is actually really, it's a nice thing we don't see a whole lot in this game. That can really change the feel on some characters too, right? So, yeah, that's kind of cool. I respect it. But yeah, right. So like even Luke with the flip, like you can build up lessons. You have some fairly nice control tools. I still think this basic just kind of lacks anything. It's not really. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything for what the character wants to do. It doesn't really do much that the team cares about. If it was like a Dispel plus buff immunity, that would be kind of crazy, but it's not. So he would just need another Dispel follow-up. Like, honestly, I would almost rather just be another Dispel basic. I guess the power fantasy that they want is they want you to run Jedi Knight Luke with Jedi Master Luke, so that will give you the Dispel plus buff immunity combo, effectively. Yeah. Right, but like, so you'll have the machine gun protection, which isn't going to be doing as much damage as I hoped. You'll have lessons spreading around. You'll still have like some of the safety nets, but you're not going to have the finisher. And in that respect, it's kind of missing some oomph. You'll still be as effective at a tank before and after ult. You won't have the finishing power. I guess I should make sure, but like I could pretty much just do this like right now, which feels insane to me. Like, this is where I was at. I actually thought I was going to need to get this number up to like 400 via Arena Crystal shipments or something. Like, look at this. This is 410 more than what he actually needs. This is ridiculous. 700 Carboni is saved up. For nothing. I guess I just have a Piet now. Man, I kept on saying the last couple days, like, I'm actually almost excited to finish gearing Luke so I can start working on Piet. I guess we're just here. Cool. Alright. Kind of a bummer this time around. Like, you know, with Kylo, the reason why I thought that this was so important is because when Rey and Kylo came out, save it just in case it's bugged. Yeah, that's why I only did it once. That's actually why. I did it once for comedic effect, and then I would like started picking and choosing. I'm gonna cover my butt here a little bit. I think once SWG events gets their readout, then I'll believe it to be true. Sam, yeah, JML's base armor. About 50%. Not great. Not great for a tank. You could do a lot worse, right? But and the tank category has seen some excellent armor. I guess the best thing you could say is that his resistance seems to be fairly high consistently. So it's cool. Like, we've got some... Oh, is it not counting mastery? I don't see the crit avoid reflected here. Oh, there we go. Oh, I thought it was 13% of max crit avoid, so we're only 20%. That's almost insignificant, depending on the matchup. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. No, isn't that 40%? Because this should only be counting the Relic 7 Master, not the Kit Master. If it's 40%, that's actually really respectable. That's like borderline B1. Not bad. You're surprised the gap is so small? Yeah. It's not a great stat line for a tank at all. Alright. I guess it's a shame that Palpatine is going to be such a black box, but I guess it's not until we see him with, you know, damage mods and ultimate unlock that we're really going to know, right? But you give him some health modding, and he's like, if assuming it flips Palpatine is a great damage dealer, like, to me, this is the highlight for today, above everything else. Luke's protection was kind of a disappointment, but even if the rest of your team dies, as long as Palpatine, even if he gets ability blocked, I would assume... I don't think his basic is an AoE, but you should still probably just be able to solo tank it to the base. Yeah. And can't be evaded too, so you're guaranteed lifesteal value. That's huge. That's very, very huge. Yeah, I think plenty of respect for that. I think I would agree with CG's hopes and dreams that once he flips, he should just be able to 1v5. I think that checks out, right? Unless you could just like, is he even vulnerable to TM removal? Isn't he? Yeah, he can't be TM reduced either. He will get to do what he wants. You will not stop him from playing the video game aside from like speed down. So not bad. Quite respectable. Alright, I feel like we've said most of what there is to say here. Yeah, I guess excellent news for if you're hoping to gear him soon. Either of these people. Palpatine is actually ridiculously cheaper somehow. I still think that's kind of crazy that he's 200 less Kairos than Luke, but I almost kind of just don't care because I know that I can get Luke done anyway. Neat. Alright. I feel like that's most of what's been, what there is to say here and what really... Oh, you don't... Smashing tanky? Yeah. Partly because the Galactic Legends kit are unique. It's actually what I probably point to as the reason. I think they're just a little bit nervous about 30% damage reduction. You know, it is a big difference. You know, an armor reduction effect or armor ignore effect on Luke, like on Jedi Luke, is still going to be beholden to 30% damage reduction, so might just be CG playing it a bit safe there, which fair enough, right? So yeah, I don't know. Pretty interesting stuff, pretty cool stuff. I feel a little bit less cold on Luke, but I need to just like slum it on the Jedi server and see if anyone did like a crazy day one luck to see if I can actually get confirmation on if Jedi Lessons is a blue buff or not, because that's still the fear to me. That's the fear debuff on my face. Yeah, we'll see. All right, the race seems pretty good, so we should have Luke by LSTB. Hopefully. I mean, I'm at like half shards right now. Can Luke die instantly with Palp's ability? No. Should be beholden to the exact same rules as any other Annihilate effect with Galactic Legends. It should just be reduced to about 70k damage. Like a Annihilate or that type of business. Fun. I still think, God, my claim on Kylo versus Palpatine suddenly gets so interesting, actually. I still think Kylo takes that. It's actually probably going to take a while for that fight to finish, because both of them have really good lifesteal values, but I think Kylo having the better ramping effect should take them. I would bet. I think it's a safe bet. I believe that. I believe that to be true. And the beginning of that fight is still going to have some question marks too, because I mean, we've seen now. I don't think Palpatine comes out of the gate strong. I think his team is going to have to buy it a pretty decent amount of time, actually. There we go. These rims drive me crazy. Really need glasses fixed. COVID. It still looks bad. All right. I think that's everything there is to say. I actually have like 20 minutes to finish my area climb, so I'm gonna go do that. Yeah, this is a pretty eventful day today. Thanks everyone for watching, and good luck with your Palpatine events. Apparently that's a little bit spicier than Luke's was. Luke's was kind of a walk in the park. Fair enough. I'll take it. All right. Peace out.